Welcome to the Chin Up Talk Show. I'm Kenneth Chin, coming to you live from Pentas 1 here at the Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Centre. Joining me on stage tonight are four outstanding people, young adults, 35 and below, and they are also the finalists for the AYA Most Outstanding Youth Award. So please join me in welcoming on stage Idana, Alinita, Jesserina, and Chen Chow. Fantastic. Now, we only have about 20 minutes to do this, but yet the stories are so inspiring. So let's do justice. First of all, I hope to be able to call you by the name that your friends and family members call you. So it's Dana, Ellen, Jessie, and Chen.
Chen or Chen Chow is either.
Chen or Chen Chow, not Chow in Fat, just Chen. Fantastic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the show. And I want to just say, to start, that the publicity for the awards this year has been amazing. It's, I think, 3 times more than we've ever had before, thanks to our partners, NST and ATV and so on and so forth. But it's been a lot. We don't even use many anymore. We use much publicity. And I know one thing for sure is that you become friends. Because you've been on the same stage so many times. Now, I do want to ask you, therefore, what has the award so far, being the finalist, so far done for you, or has it changed your life? Has it affected you in any way? Anyone can answer this. Go ahead.
Semua pointing each other. If I may start.
Sure.
Well, for one thing, it has brought up some topics of discussion between my dad and I, who's here tonight, and I'm very proud to have him here. I know it's not easy for him to be here, and I think most of all is the friendship that we just made.
Ellen's dad is here, by the way. Let's welcome him. Thank you for being here, sir. Right, and anyone else?
For me, it has given me an opportunity to share what I do. I get to create the awareness of children with special needs. Yeah.
Okay, good.
For me, I hope that by hearing all the stories here, us and maybe other nominated ones, hopefully more people will be empowered or feel that they want to do something of their passion, go out and do the things that you like and make a difference.
Fantastic. Idana actually has got a sore throat. And she almost didn't make it, but we're so thankful that you could make it. So Dana, has it changed your life in any way?
Definitely, it has. We even had a single mom that called up when she saw the program about AYA Awards and decided to join Bloop as well. So it's amazing that, this award has opened up, Bloop to beyond Klang Valley itself.
Fantastic.
I think it was from Seremban.
So let's get to that, right? Really, doing these awards, many people have asked, what's the purpose, what's the criteria? And in just natural minds, the mind of the public, we always think about achievements, or we look at the awards from the point of achievements. And really, this awards is not really just about achievements, it's about attitude. And I think attitude, most times, is more important than just achieving. But it's still on people's minds. And so you said just now that you had one single mom calling you up because she saw the program, she saw the interview, and she was asking you for a job at Bloop. And that's what you do, right, Dana? You have about 5 shops. How many? 5
shops.
And one in Melbourne.
One in Melbourne.
And you find that you said on the interview at one time that it's not that you're going out to look for single moms, but they come to you.
Yes.
And tell us more about that, and tell us, some of the joys that you have doing this.
Okay. Basically, I don't go out looking for single moms to work, but I do find that there are a lot of single mothers out there looking for jobs. It could, most of the time when I speak to them, it could be the fact that it's hard to get a job when people know that they are single moms.
Really?
Due to the fact that because they are the only breadwinner family that they will have to take care of their children and run, to the kids and all that.
Sure.
But when they join us, then when they join Blue, they know that I don't take that into account. That they are still human beings and they should be given a chance to work just like anyone else. Yeah.
Amazing. Fantastic. Could you tell us how many single moms there are in your business?
Currently about close to 10.
10?
In the past 8 years, probably we had about close to 50.
Wow, close to 50 single moms that you have hired and trained, obviously. And it's not just single moms, but just because we know your background, and you went to study in Melbourne and you got depressed and went into drugs and all that, and you messed up your life, but then you said you found God and your life turned around. But you are also especially passionate and compassionate towards people like that, especially girls, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit. It's not just single moms.
It's not.
Yeah.
Basically, I do even have staff that are into drugs, and when we find out, I will walk them through and talk to them, and even share
your story.
my story, how it has affected me, and even the people around me, because I've seen even people died due to drugs. My friends who died due to drugs, and I share that story with them. And it's good to see that, some of them
they listen to you because
they listen.
You have your own story to tell. And so that story finds a greater weight even in their own hearts. And of course, you hire a few of these people with troubled backgrounds. And so you try to reach out to them, but you don't deny them a job.
No.
Wow, fantastic. Let's give that story an applause. I think I'm going to move on to you. You are a pretty gutsy girl. You went in the aftermath of the tsunami in Aceh, and you went without any backing as far as the the last interview went. You just took a few friends and went. Therefore, you had no papers, nothing, and you went through some enemy lines, and they pointed guns at your face.
That was interesting,
Interesting, and then of course you went on and signed up. So you didn't sign up here in Malaysia, you signed up there with Mercy, I think.
Well, we actually assisted Mercy with their warehousing logistics once we reached there. It was the three of us. It was an email sent out by a friend of a friend of a friend. And he was born without any limbs or any hands, and he wanted to do something. So that was inspiring on its own, and he was quite young then. He was about 23, 24. So we decided, okay lah, come, let's go. The least we can do is sapu sampah or something like that lah, just to help out. So when we went there, we were approached by two young gentlemen, fresh university graduates, local Indonesians, and they said, Kak, why don't you come and join us? At that time, Zarif, my friend, had a permission from NST, who I understand now is your sponsor, iklan. And I had made arrangements with Prem from Malaysia Kini. In case like anything happened, you have some form of a backing.
Sure.
So went over and said, come and join us. We went over and said, we're the first local pioneer evacuation team, body evacuation.
Right.
And that's the first step ever to actually sanitize the land.
Sure.
And we figured, okay, here's what we called for. Let's do this.
Right, and you had to clear some of these bodies, right? And you found a mum who was still holding on to her child.
I'm still surprised that you can be inspired even by the dead, not just by the living. So
Inspired by the dead. That's a good point. Now we're still on the thought of achievement. So you came back, and it obviously must have done something to you. You started this organization, or this company at least, by the name of Azhar.
Azhar,
and tell us a little bit more about that. What you hope to achieve and what you have achieved.
The social entrepreneurship is still a new term for me, so I'm still finding my way. I'm still learning about what it's all about. But the company gave me a legal entity in order to do the things that we can only dream of.
Okay.
If you were to set up an NGO or anything like that, you're still limited by the local constitution of that particular NGO.
Right.
And as a business entity, you have a little bit more flexibility to do the things that you want to do. And I wanted the company to do the right thing. So
Right.
community development, focusing on poverty alleviation and education.
Yeah, and you're helping now 4 people. Could you just tell us a little bit more about who you helped?
Yang tu, what we did was we actually went into Biren. It's a district in Aceh which suffered one of the highest level of conflict during its 30 years. So we wanted to do something for conflict victims, whether they were former combatants or victims themselves.
Right.
So we interviewed them and we selected 4 youths to come up.
How old are they?
They range from 20 all the way up to 33.
33, okay.
Yeah, a mix, 2 ladies, 2 gentlemen. So USM, University of Science Malaysia, offered one of their fellows, Encik Johari Syed, who's a renowned Malaysian artist, to teach them how to make paper out of agricultural waste. So as an alternative livelihood for them, because their basic livelihood of means of economics is fisheries, livestock and agriculture. So this alternative may be able to open up all their friends to something that can be beneficial for them and their community as well. So
Great.
yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I don't want the crowd to miss this, but congratulations. You won your category for the Great Woman of Our Times Award recently by the Malaysian Women's Weekly. Finance and Commerce category, is that right?
Yes.
So congratulations,
Thank
well
you.
done on that. Jasmina, moving on to you. You joined the beauty pageant some years ago, and then you, of course, the story went that you went for one of those photo opportunities, publicity stunts, and what happened was it caught your eye. Some of these special needs children, and you went back and you thought it through and said, I think I want to do this rather than just walk on the catwalk and do modeling. Tell us a little bit more about this that you do, even the children. What kind of special needs are we talking about, and how challenging it can be on a daily basis? Tell us.
Okay. The children that I taught, they were in an early intervention center. They are with learning difficulties like Down syndrome, autistic, slow learners, and so on. The challenge would be I went in not knowing what to do because I don't have any experience, I don't have any paper qualification for that job. But I enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing the children progress. I enjoy seeing the parents having that hope that that their child can learn. And I want to give them that hope that it's possible for your child to enter school, for your child to be able to work out there. Yeah, just giving that hope.
Fantastic. And what's been your most challenging moment? I mean, these children can be a real challenge. They can be good to work with, and of course, when you see the results, it does really encourage your heart, I'm sure. But it's still challenging. So tell us.
Probably when they throw a tantrum. Yeah.
It can be quite wild, right?
It can be, but there is a reason why they
Have they ever
that
pulled
kind
your
of...
hair? You know.
I want to clarify myself. When they do this kind of behavior, it's usually for a reason. They don't do it just for fun.
Right.
So we need to find out what's the reason. Why are they're trying to communicate something with you? So you need to find out what that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the first few days, therefore, when you were in that and you weren't accustomed or weren't used to all this behavior, was it shocking? Was it like, I want to go back to the catwalk, I want to go back to modeling now? Never? Never? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh, Jessie. Yes, sir. Chen, you help students to apply for scholarships. You give them advice. You give them support. and you have, I think, an online outreach sort of called Recom, and that's what you do voluntarily. You and your friends started that some years ago. So tell us about achievement, because I know that you've picked up on some stories the last interview that we had, that some of these students will come back to you and say, thank you so much, you've changed my life. And of course, other students might not even do that, even though they have benefited from what you've done. But tell us a little bit of these achievements and also some of your favorite stories.
Thanks, Kenneth. Yeah, like last year, actually, Recom was actually here as one of the finalists for the Youth Company Award. Right. The founder, Shamsul, was here. And I would say that Recom, I won't say I'm actually helping, but what happened before, Recom was started in 2003. And what we do is basically when students have a question, it was an online student network where people respond and help. So at the early stage, a few of us were a lot more, we have to be the one that's sharing and guiding. But what it creates is a platform for people to help one another. And I think one of the main things that happen is we hope we inculcate the habit of like, when people ask for help, we hope that people will share. And after you have gained benefit from others, it's your role one day to share with others.
Pay it forward.
Pay forward, yeah. So for instance, like SPM questions. Previously, people all want the trial exam questions of every other school. But what we try to inculcate is, before you want it, you share it. I'm from this school. This is my school trial paper. And then you say, can I have others? And if everyone do it, then we'll have a lot. So every year, I think 50, 60 schools or students shared on that. And that is one area on that. And from scholarships as well, a lot of people shared about their interview experience, what they have gone through. So they have gone through a few years. So people can go back and read what happened last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What are the questions? What are the scenario there? What to expect? And people help each other. And one thing is very touching is some students may not be willing to share with their classmate in class. But right now, when they're online, they're willing to share with everyone. And it's really good to see that so many of them came forward. And a lot of times when we go to give talk as well, so when we go and share with the students, a lot of times, let's say it's an audience like this, during the talk, our main goal is how many of you next year will be here on stage sharing? And in this juncture, maybe how many of you here next year will be here on stage? And I think that will be something that you will see that people come forward and share rather than just sit back and learn and then after that forget about it.
Right. We have a judge, I just recently talked to him and he said, he wished you were around 35 years ago. Because he was offered a place in the university. And I think there was all kinds of advice. Don't go, they will do this to you and all that kind of thing. And where do you get scholarship? And so he decided not to go. And so sometimes students are ill-advised. And they regret 35 years later. Well, this judge doesn't really regret because he's doing very well. But he regrets in the sense that how if he had that kind of a support. And so you're giving that support to students now.
And yeah, I think like a lot of times is we hope to get more and more people because each of us can only help that many students. So let's say for example, Recom. This year, I think we have about 16 million web hits. And from that connections of people helping one another, it became possible. Because if each of us, one person, we can only talk to how many people a day or a month, a week. So that is very little. So it is about this way. And let's say scholarships. I only know a couple of scholarships. But through the platform, different people have gone through different kind of experience. Different people have gone through different kind of exposure. And hence they can share. And I would say that like throughout my years here as well, like since I start working especially, like my employers and my supervisors have been giving me the opportunity as well. Let's say currently with Job Street, like I get to meet students on career and they get a lot of support from me after work as well, weekends to go and share. Like last weekend I was at MRSM Kuala Terengganu, seeing how the rural kids there learning and how their perspective of like towards SPM, PMR. Sometimes it's quite sad like seeing like how people, if they know some kind of opportunities, if they know this back then, and that will create opportunities. And also previously when I was in Accenture, like although working hours is much longer, but I would say that a lot of times my supervisors have been giving me opportunities. Like I still remember like a couple of times I took an extended lunch when we go to speak to students during like to other students and all those things.
Great. Chen Chao. Someone told me that your talks at the education fairs are very, very popular. You draw in all the students. It's packed all the time. And so you are very popular at education fairs. But there are a lot of people who do this for profit and they are very angry with you because you do it for free. So do you get threatening letters and...
I won't say threatening letters, but I think I know that I'm sort of encroaching in people's rice bowl, but I would say that yes, it is like today I feel that like it's how many of the other students will be willing to share, and I would say that the people can do differentiated services. So those people that who do full time, they have all the whole day around, they can do differently. And I would say that in those talks, I wouldn't say it's not possible without the support of many people who have come up and share, and all of them are sharing willingly and for free. And let's say, for instance, like we did talks every year, everyone are volunteers, and I think that is a passion. Like I still remember 2006 when we want to do the first US education fair. Like usually education fair was run by university representatives, the people. But what back then was like Huilin, who is here, she was the one that connected back then and started it, where we did all the alumni were the one at the booth. So you go to this booth, this is the alumni. So on that day, let's say for instance, MIT booth. Our Job Street founder, Mark Chang, he is on that day not a Job Street founder. He wear an MIT shirt, and on that day he is MIT alumni sharing with others. Okay. And that was how it transpired. And AUM, at that time we were just a few youth, a few kids that then just graduate, want to do this. So American University Alumni Malaysia gave us the adult supervision and support and help us to go around. So I think that, to be fair, a lot of people have made this possible.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Now, we're going to go into something deeper. It might be sensitive, but I think this is important because the people need to know not just achievement. Again, the awards is not just about achievement. It's about people faced with challenges, faced with the way other people look at you, and yet you are able to overcome those natural obstacles and challenges. I think the audience needs to know a little bit more about that. I know that we might even overrun our time given to us, but that's okay. We have the whole night. Idana, image is a big thing. And it's even bigger, I think, for a lady. You are a beautiful lady. And even not just important for a lady, but a lady in the fashion business. So we know that the issue of weight has been triggered by your drug problem in the past. And so, there are a lot of people with, I know we can have all kinds of problems. We could be looking at us and looking at ourselves and saying we're too short. Some will say we're too tall. Some will say, whatever, skin color. And sometimes we shy away because of some of these handicaps, we call it, or things that we're shy about. But you are a woman with passion and vision, and I'm sure you probably get stares sometimes. So tell us, because we want to know what is that value, Dana, because you seem to be a person that has overcome that, and you're just going ahead for your dreams. Tell us.
I think after all that I've gone through with the drug addiction and all that, I think it's just really not losing any more time and just living. Not getting too caught up about what people think, rather being happy with what I'm doing, and that I pursue my dreams. I live every day and I try my best, and even to help the people around me that I work with. I think that has kept me going. I'm not too bound by what people think too much. Rather, I'm more concerned about what I can do. Yeah.
Great.
So I just live.
Fantastic. So it's not just image. I think the important thing is self-image. And you have a good self-image of yourself. And of course, beauty is not just on the outside, it's on the inside. And I want to thank you for sharing that with us. And Ellie, I'm going to move on to you. You have been diagnosed with cancer, nasal cancer. I almost, when I was thinking about this, was going to start with by saying, I'm sorry. But you don't want us to be sorry. At least I get that from the interviews that I've watched. But you know, it's still, in the natural eye and from the public view, it's sort of quite a devastating news. Nobody wants to hear that they have that. And yet you don't project that, you don't need to talk about it too much. In fact, in that video that we watched, you just think about the needs around you. But still, I wanna say that, and I'm sure the audience will agree with me, that it is still news that can floor anyone and stop anyone from carrying on, and we can get into self-pity and all that kind of thing. So tell us your experience. Tell us what happened even when the first time you heard about that.
The first time I thought about it, because when you're diagnosed, there's the do's and the don'ts. And usually the don'ts are a lot longer than the do's. It's like, alamak, I cannot eat cheesecake. Alamak, I cannot eat Slurpee.
Really?
It's like, yeah, that was the first thing that came through my mind.
The cheesecake?
Yeah, I've got a sweet tooth. Yeah, I think the next thing, and I don't know if it's denial or if it's healthy intervention on my part. I just know that by knowing myself, and I know if I allow myself to slip into depression, I would not recover. It takes me a long time. I'm not a healthy person that way. I know how far I can cope with something. So if I focus on that for too much, I do focus on it, but for too much, I will lose myself. And I will lose myself to the word itself, I will lose myself to the illness, and I will lose myself from my family and my friends. So, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Focus on something else, keeps moving. My business partner, who's like the light of my life, sometimes I call him and he hates this, Jason El Ming Xian, still single. He's been a great grounding factor, so has all those who knows me who are here today, they're really important in my life, so yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ellen, for sharing that. So they took you, Jessie, to some of these photo opportunities. You know, when I think about you, I think about this pageant, right? And it's game and fame. And you turn the game and fame into passion and commitment. And it's no longer a photo opportunity to you, isn't it? Because the cameras have stopped clicking, the video is no longer there, and you are, now faced with this daily reality of taking care of children that many people don't even want to come close to, maybe because they don't understand. Tell me about that value, you used the word before, beauty with a purpose. Tell us a little bit about that. Now that the photo opportunity is gone.
Okay, the cameras are still clicking.
Cameras are still clicking.
What's the question again?
It's mainly the value, Jessie.
The value, okay.
Yeah.
I believe that day when I met that girl, it's divine that God appointed that time. And
she was autistic?
Yeah, she has autism.
Yeah.
And then went on to the home, and I believe that was divine also that God appointed that time, that I saw the needs. And I was just thinking, like, how can I do something to help? I want to help, and how can I help? So I prayed. And I believe what I'm doing right now is also God-given purpose. It's not something that I dream of doing. I never had this kind of ambition. That's not part of my plan in life. So since I believe that God wants me to do this, and although I did not have any experience or knowledge, I trust Him, and I've seen how He moved in my life. For the past 3 years when I was working in the Early Intervention Center, that was where I had firm foundation on this work. I get to know the needs of the children, and I found out a lot of these children, their parents are devastated because they expect a typical child. So that's where I also see how God moved in their lives and how the parents love the children unconditionally, and the parents taught me that also.
Right.
And
Unconditional love.
yeah, and also from that center, I learned that a lot of them face problem to enter kindergarten or to schools,
Right.
because the teachers are not aware or the teachers are not trained. And after that 3 years, I was given an opportunity to start a new program to include children with special needs into preschool, and it's been a great journey so far. I've seen how God moved again, how He opened the door for that kindergarten to approach us. And this lady, she's very passionate about what she do, and she has a very good teacher who is willing to learn, willing to try new things. And now we have 2 special needs children in that preschool. And I saw how the children integrated very well.
Fantastic.
And I saw a great improvement for that child with autism. He's only 3 years old.
Right.
And the program just started in August, and he has been with us for only 2 months. When he came in, there were the tantruming, there were the difficult behavior to deal with.
Sure.
But the teachers and my team of teachers, they're
here?
Yeah, they're here.
Wow, welcome.
They were very consistent. They were very persevering. They did not give up. And we saw that improvement in him. And even the parents saw it, even the teachers saw it, even the center that he was attending saw it. And I'm really blessed by that, seeing that improvement.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done. Fantastic.
Yeah, and
Good,
we hope-
Jessie.
Thank you.
What's your hope? Go ahead. You said you hope.
And we hope that this program would be a model to other preschool that they would want to have children with special needs into their
Let's all hope together.
kindy.
I think it's time for Malaysia to have that.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Jessie. Thank you. Everyone has a handicap, even those who think they don't. Chen, yours was the lack in your English proficiency. And every time I watch it, I have a smile on my face because the way you say it. You said that when you had an ASEAN scholarship, you went to Singapore, and all the time you're saying, I beg your pardon, I beg your pardon. But you said it quite well, I beg your pardon. That's quite good English. Quite good English, I beg your pardon, otherwise we, what But you went ahead, of course, you got a JPA scholarship as well, and then you went to Cornell University in America. They call it an Ivy League institution, and so we're all proud of you. But your first year going in, you had to go through that entrance exam, and you were bottom 8 of 3,000 students. And that could have, again, just caused you to pack up and come home. Because we know a lot of students that can just go like, what am I doing here? And yet you pursued your degree and ended up actually as one of the more popular students, and you did well, really, in that university. So again, we want to congratulate you for that, but also to ask you, what is your value? What kept you going? And of course, you speak so much better, I think, from what you... I don't know you from then, but we won't know that you had that problem just by speaking to you now. So tell us.
I think back then, in high school, I think English was, SPM English was okay because we mostly are written. So written wise, we thought, okay, in a small little world of us, we thought that, okay, we can get A's in SPM. Okay, my English is perfect. But later when I went to Singapore, when people are speaking, are they speaking English? Are they speaking what language? Because you really can't catch them. And then I still remember dictionary was always on my hand, asking people, and I still remember going to their debates club just to be an intruder and sit there as they speak. You just try to jot down whatever sounds like. It's it sounds like this, sounds like that. And then sometimes when people talk to you, okay, can you flip my dictionary and point me this word or not?
Really?
And I say that a lot of people that give a lot of help. And when I came back to Malaysia with the preparation of get JPA at Intech UiTM, Shah Alam. Like, I still remember some of my friends was forcing me to sit down there and watch English movie without subtitle. They would put the ruler there, shut it, and get me to sit watching with them.
What was your favorite?
At that time, I don't watch English movie because I can't understand it. And actually, it was fun. And I thought, okay, after Singapore, okay, and then 1 year here, when I go to US, should be okay already lah. I thought that Malaysia English boleh lah. So when you go over there, during orientation, day 2, that was my first time taking aeroplane. So when I took there, happily reached there, thought that, okay, good to get in a decent university. Okay, day 2 orientation exam. Do the English test. But never in my dream that would think that, okay, I would be that bad lah. But the results came the next day. They choose 8 students, special students, whose English is the top from the other side of the angle. But one thing, I think the blessing in disguise is they put me in a special class. And 8 of us, I still remember people from Indonesia, Thailand, Korea, China, and Malaysia boleh. So, the basic was like, the teachers was making us, I think my Professor Deborah Campbell, the teacher only teach 8 of us that whole semester. Every week, I have to write 6 pages in English, can be about anything. Complaining about life in university, stress about missing home, whatever it is, you write 6 pages in English. And every week, we had 1 hour chit-chat with the professor. So, the professor would see it, talk your conversation, correct your pronunciation, everything. And I would say that it was good. Like, the experience was worth it. And today, I still speak broken England, but I think at least I dare to stay here.
Well done. Come on, Chen. Fabulous. Now, of course, we do have to end this show in a while, but just to let you know, you may have known already that this awards is not a one-off thing. We really believe in doing it as long as we can, but not just the night. We want to make sure that there is relationship, there is connection, there is friendship. And so the question therefore would be, and of course, you probably will have 30 seconds each to do this, but we have great partners like NST and 8TV and Malaysia Kini and so on and so forth that could help us to help you see some of your hopes and dreams come to pass. So if there is that one hope and one dream, what would that be? How could the awards continue to be of benefit or help to you? It's not that everyone here must say something, but I'm just going to leave the last 2 minutes for this. Let me start with you, Jessie, because you talked about more of these children being able to go to normal schools, kindergartens. How do you think we can partner?
Probably can invite them to the kindergarten to shoot a video of how the program is, how the children are integrating, how the children are in the inclusion program.
Right.
Yeah, probably that would help so that you see it, you believe in it, and you want to do it.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Good. Anyone else?
Sorry. I think it would be great to really feature about how single parents or single mother or dad even how they live, and really to get people to open up to the idea that there's nothing wrong with them, and to just accept them as they are. I think they've been so-called shunned by community just with the idea that they are single parents. I think they should be given opportunity and a broader exposure of who they really are. Yeah.
That's good. Well, thanks, Idana. Thank you.
I guess for me it would be 2 things. We're trying to push the whole notion of social entrepreneurship.
Yep.
These are business entities who primary return on investment would be the social impact that they want to create. Yeah. So if the media can help push this notion over, to the government as well, perhaps these business entities, it's not just me, or it's most of our companies, Lideronomics and all that, tax exemption, redemption, anything that would facilitate these business entities to create as much social impact as they can for poverty alleviation, education, community development and all that. But the second, second wish would be that when disasters strike, it does not happen just once. the follow through from whatever contribution that can be done, it could be in the form of a friendship, a smile, contribution of money, time, or energy.
Yeah.
If you can just make that a little bit more sustainable in terms of, yes, you're giving this, but can we follow through after that? Because rebuilding of a community after disaster strikes does not happen overnight.
Sure.
It's still taking Aceh, Nepal, Cambodia, and all that a long time to recover. So it's a continuous awareness that needs to be created. So that would be my hope.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much.
Like, for me, I believe in youth empowerment, and I think everyone here is in youth or still young at heart, and really hope that you go out there and do the thing that you care about, what you're really passionate about, what that Monday morning when you wake up, you say, yes, I'm going to do this, go out and do that, and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. You're all winners in our eyes, and thank you for being counterculture. Countercultural. Thank you for just being just really ordinary people with extraordinary attitudes and spirit. We really honor you tonight. We thank you for being here. We thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
And we wish you all the best. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of each other. So that's all the time we have tonight. I just want to say as we end that when life tries to weigh you down, keep your chin up. Good night.